The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
Allegedly. Okay.
All right.
To be expected, I suppose.
Right, Rob, far away, mate. Mark, first and foremost, how are you? It's been a tough week, and I wonder how, with all of this scrutiny, all of this supposed pressure, how are you taking it? Because we have to ask you a load of difficult questions that we don't like asking, and you have to answer a load of questions that you don't like.
Well, listen, I've said before, said it many times, the only way any noise or so-called pressure that comes to bear on me or the team or the club as a whole, that always gets dissipated if you win games. We had a weekend which tested us. We obviously ideally would have liked to have had a winning performance against Newcastle. We weren't able to produce that. The Chelsea one we've gone into, and I've explained the thinking behind my decisions leading into that game, which was pretty evident to everybody if they took a reasonable view. So yeah, prior to that we'd had two decent results. So the key from our point of view is just to regain that momentum that we had 2 games ago. And if we do that, then we get on with the job in hand.
Do you accept, though, that 5 defeats in 7, you've now slipped into the bottom 3, that isn't acceptable for this football club?
Well, I think if you just do the bare stats, that doesn't make good reading, but you haven't really discussed the reasons behind it and the factors that lead to those stats. I know the reasons behind why we haven't been able to be as effective and as good on the field of play as we wanted to be. So I mean, in the cold light of day, yes, I can be hit over the head with results and stats, which is what happens. But there's reasons, and we can address, for the most part, all of them. Other areas and other reasons need to be looked at so that we can be stronger in the second half. So that's what we're trying to do.
Difficult question, but do you think you can survive one more defeat, whether that's a Saturday or the following Saturday?
Well, if you're priming people to make those decisions, yes. In my view, we've got a difficult game actually at the weekend. Typical cup tie, lower league. Team that's doing quite well at the moment and in decent run of form, coming up against the Premier League side that's not quite in as best form that they would like. So I suppose everybody will be gearing up for a potential upset. We'll have something to say about that, clearly. Next week we've got Man United, so yes, there will be a little bit of pressure. But been doing it a long time, been in this game, seen most things, experienced these periods before and come out really strongly the other side, and that's our intention this time.
I know the chairman always speaks to you a couple of days after the game, he always has done. You've had that conversation then, I assume. Was anything said?
Yeah, I spoke with him this morning. A scheduled meeting. We sat down and, as we always do, we go through recent games, discuss that, and then we move on to the next things on the agenda, which basically is January, and about making sure that we're strong enough in this window to make sure that we get the job done come the end of the year.
Seek reassurance from him then?
Why would I seek it? I don't need it. It's just, from my point of view, it's just business as usual. I didn't attempt to ask the owners about my future. I went there with the sole purpose of getting an understanding of what we're doing in January. That's what I got, an indication in terms of that. So it was a good meeting, and one that we can move forward from.
Did they give you an indication that money will be spent then? You've been pretty clear in telling them that it needs to be spent, I presume? Well,
a little bit stretched at the moment, clearly. That's obviously something to do with the injuries that we have at the moment, but even so, if we, I think it's clear, if we have situations where key players are out, senior players, then the strength in depth is a little bit of a concern at the moment. So we just need to have a little bit of help, and the owners recognise that. The coach family have been fantastic at this club supporting managers, so clearly myself included. So I'm sure they will do that again.
How much does the current situation affect your selection this weekend, Mark? Because a win would be very useful, bearing in mind that.
Well, no, it's a cup game, and I think if you see the teams that I pick in cup competitions at the club since I've been here, I've always gone strong. That won't change. It will be exactly how I've approached every League Cup game, FA Cup game since I've been here, and that's to make sure we're really strong and make sure that we progress to the next round. That's our intention.
Looking forward to meeting with Mark Robbins. You two have a bit of FA Cup history together.
Yeah, I haven't seen Mark for a number of years actually. We come across each other in football circles, but no, they're having a good run at the moment, and obviously he's working under difficult circumstances in terms of the situation at his club and the future of his club. So I'm sure that's something that's not easy for him as the manager in terms of keeping everybody positive, but it's what needs to be done at any given time. So everybody has different situations that they have to face and get through.
You already talked about the type of fixture this is in the FA Cup, potential banana scheme, but for you, a victory would be good just for a bit of that positive momentum after the last few weeks.
Yeah, clearly we just need, like I said, I would suggest this weekend. Yeah, last weekend we lost momentum. This weekend we have an opportunity to gain momentum. That's what we're trying to do. We don't want to be on the back pages of sports pages with the wrong headlines. We want to be there for the right reasons, having progressed to the next round, which is our intention. We're a Premier League club. That's the prerequisite from our point of view in terms of progressing against lower league clubs. That's what we should be doing, and that's our intention.
You're very experienced in the world of football. How do you cope with the fact that people who are full-time have been and had a few signs saying Hughes out? Does that affect you at all, or do you just get on with the job?
Well, no, it's understandable. Clearly, people are disappointed. We've raised expectations here since I've come here. This season, obviously, we've dipped below them. So when you raise expectations and then don't reach where people think you have got capabilities, then people are disappointed and they react to that. And that's all that's happening. We understand that. If we start to win, as I've already intimated, we start to win again, get a good run, get some momentum behind us, which we're more than capable of doing, then the positivity returns. A little bit too much negativity in my view. It's not gone away as readily as it should have done on occasions. It's still been in the background, just waiting to come out again, and we've, unfortunately, last weekend we allowed it to come out and appear again. So that's how it's going to be, unfortunately, until we probably turn it around totally. At the moment we're not able to do that totally, but we'll continue to work correctly, which is why I always do and what my staff do, and it's proved over the time I've been a Premier League manager that works, and how I works. So that gives me confidence and comfort knowing that with the right players available, we can win games in the Premier League, which is what we've always done.
Mark, why do you feel you just mentioned the fact of negativity and it's kind of been there behind the scenes, it's obviously come back out again. Why do you think it's been there and it's not gone away?
Difficult to say. I think it was there at the beginning of the season, if I'm honest. I think people looked at maybe our opening set of fixtures and thought, goodness me, he's going to struggle in these fixtures, and this could be an opportunity to crank pressure up and maybe remove him from his post. And I think there was a little bit of that going on. We dissipated that maybe very early on by winning and beating Arsenal and drawing with Man United. So it shows we have the capabilities to do it again, and why wouldn't we?
Can it be repaired, that disconnect?
I don't think it's a huge disconnect with everybody. I don't think everybody wants us to fail. Surely if you're a Stoke supporter, you don't want your club to struggle. So a genuine apathy to what we're trying to do isn't right across the board, I would suggest. But clearly people get anxious, get a little bit disappointed and a little bit worried, because remaining in the Premier League is vitally important for the club and for the area. We're all conscious of that. So people get a little bit, maybe frightened is the word. But they should take comfort from the fact that there's good people working on the club's behalf, and it's up to us to make sure we get the job done, which we will.
And you clearly have a good, open relationship, an honest relationship with the owner, with the chairman as well. You say, you spoke to the chairman this morning. But do you sense that there is, from them, that they're getting a little bit anxious and there are things going on behind the scenes, or are they being as upfront and honest with you as you are with them?
I'd be disappointed if they weren't upfront and honest. That's the type of people they are. Why wouldn't I think that they are being? It's a difficult situation for everybody, but they don't want their team to fail. They don't want their appointments to fail. So it's not what they do. They back good people with ability and let them get on with the job, and that's what they've always done here.
Mark, is there any sense that this club's not used to being in the bottom three of late? Is there any sense that it could knock confidence inside?
Well, it's been in the bottom three in my time. I think my first year here, we slipped into the bottom three for a very brief period. I think it was the morning of a game because there was an early game when we dropped in. But then we went out and beat Man United. So changes very quickly. I think we ended that season 9th. So it can change. A lot of clubs have been there and it's been doom and gloom, and then very quickly you get a little bit of momentum, which I continue to talk about, and that momentum takes you to a better place. You win more games, and that momentum is sustainable if you can obviously get the right team against the right opposition on the pitch and get that right on more occasions than you get it wrong, and that's what we'll endeavour to do.
That could be a good omen then if you've got Manchester United next, the last time you dipped in.
Good observation, yeah, why not?
In terms of this weekend changes, will you make many changes, do you think?
Not really, because we haven't got that capability really. We've still got issues in terms of our defensive players. No Ryan Shawcross. Bruno Martins, Indy won't be available again. We've got to check on a number of players from the other night against Newcastle. So I can't, sat in front of you here and now, I can't tell you exactly the makeup of the team or the squad because I don't know as yet. We're going to have to give a number of people maybe 24 hours more just so that we can have a better indication whether or not they're available or not. But as I said earlier, it's our intention to go strong. We always do. We always put teams out that we expect to win.
Can you give us any indication of Martin Windy and Shawcross definitely, but who the other perhaps weakened might be?
Well, Eric Peters obviously went off in the game with tie hamstring. He's very unlikely to be involved. We don't think it's actually the hamstring he damaged, but obviously as a consequence of maybe a little bit of trying subconsciously to protect that, he's got an issue elsewhere. So that needs to settle down quickly if he's going to be an option for us. So he's the main concern at the moment. Okay.
Obviously, you know the owners really well, so do you just sort of pay no attention to newspaper stories, saying that they're considering it for change? Are you able to see?
Listen, I don't know what they're thinking. My view is that certainly this morning I think there was very much a case of not talking about things that remain confidential. We just talked about where we see ourselves and what we need to do moving forward and how we do that. And it's basically what we talk about when we come together every other month, which is usually when we do it. So obviously that's alongside speaking every other day, either with John or with Peter. So it's no different from where we've been. It's maybe you guys out there who are maybe suggesting that we're in a different moment and a different place now. But in terms of the communication I have with the owners and they have with me, that hasn't changed.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Mark.
No problem.